And we are live.
Hey everyone, it's the first Ultra Podcast Z of the year. Oh yeah, of course I hiccup then. That's not ominous, right? I'm
I
Manuel,
don't think
leader.
hiccups are ominous. I mean,
Hmm.
unless you're gonna keep hiccuping through the show, but that's about it.
I remember there was like on a really old episode of The Simpsons, like, and meet the man who's been hiccuping for the past like 15 years, and he's hiccuping, he's like, please kill me. I feel like that's me right now. I don't want to hiccup. I don't think I've hiccuped in years. Funny enough, who
I don't.
hiccups?
I
You're a
hiccup a
loser if you
lot.
hiccup. Oh, sorry, JD. I started saying that before you said that. Anyways, I'm Manuel Lever, J Connections. Say hi, Josh. Introduce yourself.
I am Josh, known as Photaku off of Photaku Network, and also from the currently in limbo status Peak Filler podcast.
What happened to the peak filler? Is it not
They're
peak
waiting for more
enough?
filler.
I know you need more filler. You need because the anime season hasn't fully begun yet.
Yeah, no, actually, there are a few animes that recently got done that I think would be really cool to talk about, but right now I'm just trying to figure out what's a better like way of discussing it because currently the format was make some videos, post them on YouTube, but then I kind of feel like it'd be cool if it were live, but then right now it's just currently me and my girlfriend. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what's like a better way of having a discussion while also talking about animes. And it's just a little bit of a bummer that the person that I originally started with had to take care of some family business, and then like the
Mm-hmm.
holidays and everything came up. So I I think that there was a lot going on that made it easy to be kind of like, well, this just started. So other than that, got to enjoy some really cool cons as of recently.
Yes, yes, yes. It's funny because like going back to what you were saying about like things that start like have interesting auspicious starts. And
Mhm.
by auspicious I mean that mildly. Uh, what's the word? Jokingly. Uh, it's funny because like Ultra Podcast Z, this podcast has gone through
Mhm.
several iterations over the years, but what it started as lasted like one episode, and then like I couldn't lock down the people I originally started it with, and it was not Nyaru, by the way. Actually, I shouldn't say
Not
that.
Niara.
It kind of was Nyaru, but it was someone else who I came with the whole thing with, like the whole concept. I was
Hmm.
like, it'd be a cool podcast. Like a friend of mine lived in Japan at the time. I was like, it'll be cool. We'll just like shoot the shit. Like it'll be about the other stuff, but like a lot more loose in terms of topics and a lot shorter. Because the podcast we used to do before would run as until we got like tired. Like we would sit there 3 or 4 hours. But um, but yeah, things
It's a pretty
happen.
healthy podcast, you know.
This one's been running for 225 episodes. Are they all good? I don't know, but there's
Congrats,
a
though.
lot. There's a lot of episodes. Like it's funny because like when we hit episode 100 or so, it was like, hey, it's like, have any of us ever committed to anything this long this whole time? I've been coughing since last Thursday. You were sick, Richie.
Oh, fudge.
What? Whatever car from Fast and the Furious that has the most. What is this chat? Yeah, JD is the
Oh,
only
because
one.
they're responding to what we have. Because they said, Sunhouse Stream said, well, look what we have here.
Oh,
And then I replied, and then after bringing up the coughing thing, then they said, whatever car from Fast and the Furious that has the resale, what's it called? Most resale value is what we currently have.
But yeah, so it is what it is. My point is, Josh, keep sticking to it. It'll come together.
Thank you. And that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll just see what happens. In the
And
meantime, I'm just gonna be in this random ass room.
random ass room is a random. But yeah, we had some conventions recently. We went to ALA. How was your how was your ALA in general, Josh?
It was a lot of fun. Went with my girlfriend's sisters and a couple friends, and then they brought their friends. Our hotel was cray cray. Um, yeah, no, they wouldn't leave till like sometimes 5 o'clock, like 4 or 5 o'clock. They'd stay in there until that time. I'm like, you missed most of the con. What are you like? And they would be like, one of my friends was trying to make it really cool for their friends. But in the meantime, me and my girlfriend explored a lot of the con. We spent some time with my sisters, and then later we ran into you. At the same time, we ran into my friend. La La Valentine, and yeah, no, it was really cool. We had a lot of fun taking cosplay pictures. Um, my girlfriend got to debut some of her cosplays. It was also really fun because a lot of people really liked her my Sakurajima, and we kind of like put that together with
Oh,
some of my stuff and her stuff from the closet, plus like one quickly ordered like skirt later, and it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope.
um,
Oh, wait, sorry.
so
Before you go, Manuel,
oh,
I just want to say,
what?
Josh, you were talking about like your sister and her friends like staying in the hotel room until 5. I originally thought you
Oh,
meant
you talk shit about
AM,
me.
and then I was
No,
like,
no,
have
no,
you ever
no,
met Manuel?
Oh,
no. I meant
Like
okay.
any con he doesn't have a panel at, you could probably count the times he leaves the hotel room for anything other than like ice and food on one hand
Okay.
in decimal.
First of all, first of all, I was pretty good this con. All things considered, I went to the con. I did a lot of things I never do. The days, I'll admit, part of the reason for this one because I needed 2 badges, and I had 2 badges under the con. But I went day 0 to pick up a badge, which I never do because I'm like, what's the point? We can't hang out there. There's no ice cream social anymore. So just get the badge and leave. And then I went the other day. I forgot what the fuck I did. I think I went to get the badge. Maybe we had an interview. I don't remember anymore.
mhm,
But at some point after something, maybe it was before the panel, after the panel. I don't remember. I went to the con. The
mhm.
time frames in my head's weird, but I went to the con for like a brief minute just to look at the exhibit hall. And every year I go to ALA when it's in the Long Beach Convention Center, it blows my mind how much empty space there is in the exhibit hall. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing to say, but it's like, why don't they sell more booths? Like it feels like
um,
they could pack it in there. They could sardine it. They could like make it AX. Like
No, no, don't. I think that they have a perfectly good thing right there that they do have some open space. I think the only issue is like I think you're approaching it from like the kind of the vendor where it's like it all needs to be really packed together so that way it feels like there's always so much to do. It also helps the
yeah,
vendors because they like when that traffic is crowded because someone needs to like definitely slow down and take a look at other things, especially if you're not those people who like bought a booth right at the entrance because those people will be eating or they spend a lot with the anticipation that they're going to be selling a lot because they're that the first thing that people see.
but yeah. So like it was. I was surprised how empty it was. I was just saying, uh, but it wasn't empty because people weren't there. It was empty because they just wanted a huge gap between like when you walk into the first booth, and then
Mhm.
that gap stretched the whole way around. And there was all these like where the Forbidden May Cafe, which we don't talk about, was where that was at. There was so much dead space around it, like all around it, like where the cars and the May Cafe were. Like, why was that
Yeah,
all
no,
so
I would
like
agree.
so
There's like if
open?
yeah, it definitely cut up. Excuse me, like I think there was like a booth that had some like floral stuff for bracelets, and I want to say that was like the last line, and then there's that little corner like one selling some like foam props. But then yeah, no, it was kind of like a really big open like area right there.
I don't know if you did much shopping at the con. I didn't because I didn't. See, that's the other thing, JD. Before you rag on me about not going to the con much, unless you're going to that you want to shop, there's not a lot to do unless you're going to a panel, be it mine or be it someone else's. Because what else does one do at a con, really? I guess hang out, like just sit there and talk to people. But I could do that in the hotel room because, like, but this year I did notice there was a lot more loot stuff in the exhibit hall. Much I like that, but I was amazed by that. There were so many like I remember back in the day, I would have to find like a specific artist or two who were selling like loot stickers I could put on shit.
Hmm.
But there were so many this year, just random ones.
Oh no, I don't think you're looking hard enough. I always feel like there's always like the people have the loot stuff outside of just the people who sell loot stuff over in the artist alley. But what I did in the exhibit hall was more so just kind of like screwing around with my girlfriend and checking out like some vendors that we either needed stuff from. Like there was we went to Epic Cosplay because we were gonna get a Anya wig for a friend that we met at the con. So she was gonna be our Anya while we were Yor and Lloyd. and then we were like gonna look for a little head thing so we could like clip to it. I was gonna try
Mhm.
and make some in the room really quick by using some pieces of like one of my shirts, but then when we asked if they knew if there was somebody who had those head clips, they literally pointed us right across from them where the artist alley stood. There was a perfectly situated person with headbands as well as just little clips of different things
Oh.
like devil horns, the Anya little clip things. It was like so perfect. I don't know if that was like when they looked at each other, it was like we're gonna synergize as fuck. But like it was just really funny
Mhm.
because it's just like, wow, like the chances of like that artist alley vendor being next to the epic cosplay and their stuff could combo really well was really cool. And other than that, then we went to go and just find a lot of different things in the artist alley. Yeah, like we didn't really shop too much, but we just shop for a few things here and there. Most of the time it was let's go out, take pictures, meet up with some friends, rest back at the hotel room, and then switch in and out of cosplays for other gatherings.
I should start cosplaying. I should start cosplaying. So I'll change into cosplay and I'll never leave the hotel room. I'll just be in there sitting in my cosplay.
Manuel, I have the
No,
perfect
it's actually
cosplay for
funny.
you.
What?
I'm not gonna tell you. You have to watch the edit to see it.
Okay. It's
Okay.
funny because the fucking the fuck like when I was rooming like pretty much every day. It's funny that JD makes fun of me. Maybe he wasn't there to see it, but every day that of ALA, I would usually be one of the first to leave. Funny enough, I don't know if I've rubbed off badly on some of my friends, some of my roommate friends, or if like because I know for a fact there was a time when like I roomed with this couple what the fuck is it
Morgan.
and Thomas.
Mhm.
Should I even said they were a couple? I don't know. Oops, I already said it. Uh, so I room with them, and they fucking well they don't fuck, but they fucking used to leave every morning before like anyone would wake up back in the day. They would leave at like 5 or 6 a.m. They would just they would be ready at the crack of dawn. Like usually we're going to sleep. Like we're partying till 4 or 5 a.m. We're going to sleep, and they're stirring to wake up. They're getting ready, and they're out like by like 7 or 8. We're getting breakfast like 9 or 10, and they're gone.
Mm.
Now there are times they'll still be there till noon, and then other people that I room with, they'll still be getting in their cosplay until like 2, 3 p.m. And I'm like, I thought I was bad. Like there are times when we would go because I think almost all of our interviews were like, well, the first day we interviewed at 12. So we'd leave at 12. Oh no, I remember now. So we had a lot of stuff at 4s, like this con,
Mhm.
and almost every time when we would leave at 3 something, people were still getting ready, and I'm like, what is? JD, you saw it, so I'm not that bad.
Yeah, but you.
It's just
I very specifically had to drag you out for the interviews though, and had to make sure that you were
oh,
okay to leave. If I had not been there, I think you would have missed a few of them.
I did not want to go to the interview we did on Friday, and I still stand by this. It was the one with
Who
Kari
did you
Walgren.
interview on Friday?
We didn't.
We
Oh,
interviewed Kari
Friday. Sorry,
Walgren.
I got my days confused.
You didn't
We
want to
interviewed
talk with Carrie
no,
Walgren?
no, 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 no. Actually, I'm wrong. First of all, it was Caitlin Glass,
Yes.
but the Kari
Wait,
one was
why
on
not
Saturday.
Caitlin Glass? Also,
Actually,
you know what's trippy? Really trippy. A quick thing. It's a total detour. Does not anything to do with this. But have you heard of the Have you heard of the YouTuber Rotten Mango or Stephanie Sue?
no. What about her?
Well, I'm only bringing this up in relation to Caitlin Glass because I tripped hard. She has a recent episode. It has to do with the stolen baby, and it actually aired at the same time as ALA. The reason I'm saying it's trippy is because one of the people in that case is named Caitlin Glass, but they have no
Oh,
relation. They have no relation. This is not the same Caitlin Glass, but it was just really trippy when I was hearing this story, and I'm like, wait, is there some lore I didn't know? And it's not. It's just another random white girl named Caitlin Glass. But like, I was just
I'm
like
sure.
tripping out when I was tripping out when I heard that. Oh, the Lulu God says they love Stephanie. Yeah, Stephanie Sue, we stand. Um, but yeah, no, it was crazy. I had to like physically stop, and I was gonna double check because there was the weeb in me was gonna be like, I don't want to be that person who like goes and does it. Except I've done it already before. I'll explain that in a sec. But like, It would have been like,
Oh,
"What the fuck?" But yeah, no, I just wanna point out,
for
I
the
just tripped
record,
out for a moment, but it's not the same Caitlyn Glass, but the name does come up in the what's it called in the episode. And to be fair, Stephanie has a very good team that like dives into all of the background people. So the fact that it didn't even come up was another thing that like I would know, like if it were important she would bring it up. Uh yeah, no,
I feel like
it was,
I feel like this is a topic for a whole deep dive because I just googled who Stephanie Sue was because I'm like I've heard that I thought it was who I thought it was and it was. It's the
yeah.
mukbang true crime person.
Yeah, no, it's her. And
They get they um I'm not the person who cares about that kind of thing, but I'm sure you might have known because it circles around her content. There's a lot of
yeah.
people who are like, "Oh, this is problematic because it's like mukbang, like true crime," and they're like eating fried chicken. They're like, "Yeah," and then they cut off their head. And it's like, it's like
Yeah, no,
it's stuff
her
Manuel
her
would
mo-
do.
her more
Not
recent
cutting off head.
yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. The what you just did is the thing she always does 2 seconds later to just kind of say like for legal purposes. But excuse me, her more recent channel, the one that's just called Rotten Mango, that one she doesn't really eat during
Oh,
it.
she doesn't eat anymore. Okay.
No, she tends to keep it really like serious in those. Like she has other channels where she's like very much more lighthearted. But yeah, like if you
Oh,
wanted to
okay. At
find
least I brought
Stephanie
okay.
Sue, yeah, if you want to find Stephanie Sue actually saying Caitlyn Glass's name and you want to have that like as a soundbite, it does exist. She's just not talking about the same uh Caitlyn Glass. Now, but here's the thing. Okay, it would be kind of weird to and it's a really effed up story, but like if I were to go up and like ask Caitlyn Glass this, it would simply be with all honesty, I'm probably never gonna like actually speak with her again. It was just be like that really awkward clarification. But either way, none of that happened. I didn't go up to her. It's not like it was gonna be awkward, but there was this one situation where I went up to Yuri Lowenthal. Wait, yeah, Yuri
Yes, is it?
Lowenthal. Um, what's his name?
He's the
You know,
voice.
Sasuke and current Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So like what happened was there was this video that was circulating back in around I want to say 2014, 2013, where it was saying that Sunny Hook did not happen. And it was like this big cutout thing. It didn't have sorry. It did have Alex Jones as the main person who put the video together. It was just probably somebody who like took his theory a little bit too seriously and they made this huge video. Now the reason that Yuri Lowenthal comes up is because they were trying to say that all of the parents were crisis actors, that they're not real
Oh,
people, they are
yeah,
acting
yeah.
because clearly this what's it called, this event that we have no footage for except for like a few photos, you know, mind you, this was also like it happened in 2012, okay? Like even 2012 kids at that point in time didn't all necessarily have cell phones and shit, because if he's really like, oh, why didn't we get footage and stuff, it's just kind of like, well, I'm pretty sure if you wait a few more years there would be footage about stuff or somewhere. But anyway, that was one of the things that these people would use, so they go after the parents saying like they're not real. And they bring up a clip. They bring up clip of one of the parents in like a local theater production, or at least when I bring it up, it's like there's very intentionally a good place camera in this production, as if it's like if it were like a take home version of the play,
Yeah.
so it's like it's not happening during. Um and so one of the parents is talking to Jesus Christ in the thing, and lo and behold, Jesus Christ is played by Yuri Lowenthal. But I was tripping balls
Hey.
because this clip doesn't say it shows the parent, but it doesn't say, like, it doesn't have more information, because of course it doesn't. It's just trying to make a point by attacking the character of the parent, I guess, by saying that they're an actor, so that means that they had no kids. Logic, I guess. But yeah, no, the what's it called? The Jesus character, I was like, is that Yuri Lowenthal? And I decided to ask at what's it called, what's it called?
Okay,
LA Comic Con. Um,
Josh, you've been talking about
yes.
this for a while. I'm giving you 1 minute to wrap this up. Time starts now.
Sorry.
So LA Comic Con, you asked him about it. Was he
Asked
Jesus?
him asked him about it, and he said yes. It's a production called Faithful. I actually know that particular parent. I actually called him when the thing happened. I even tried to talk to him about it, being like, with
Oh,
all respect, like when I bring this up, it was because of a video that was pretty messed up, but I'm just kind of curious. I don't want to be rude when I ask this. And it was like he was pretty chill. He let me know about the situation and everything. And he says, yeah, no, I've had people like bring up stuff in worse like
so
cases.
I'm gonna bring it back around to Caitlin Glass into whatever in a second. But I just looked up Faithful, and Yuri Lowenthal apparently wrote it and appeared in it, and Tara Platt's in it too. That's a familiar
Holy
name.
crap. Yeah,
Oh, Tara
I did
Platt's
not
another,
do
yeah, it's another voice.
yeah.
I thought so, but oh my God, you would okay, JD. Next time we're gonna bring up the baby Caitlin Glass in the interview. It's happening, okay?
Okay, time is up.
Wait, I'm
That
bringing
was
it
your
back.
minute. Yes.
I'm bringing it back, JD. I'm just saying we're gonna ask
Yeah.
Caitlin Glass some awkward questions next time.
You can do that, Manuel. I'm not going to do that.
Anyway, fun fact. So like, and this is a real fun fact. I don't do a lot of the interviews myself because I just don't like to do them. For reasons. Honestly, I'll be real with you, and it's funny because this actually ties in perfectly about why I didn't want to go to the one for what is her name?
Caitlin
Kari
Glass.
Walgren.
Oh,
No, I kind of had for some reason. I think it's my I think because what was I doing that day that I felt like I had to be there. I forgot why I wanted to go to the Caitlin Glass one. There was a reason, but the Kari Walgren one, I was like, I don't need to be here. And it's the same reason why I don't like doing interviews. It's like if we have people around, it's like they can do it. Why does Manuel have to do it? You know? And it's not
Mhm.
even a lazy thing. It's like legit. Like there have been times like on AX when we'll have like, especially when we have like 5 or 6 interviews, like we did at ALA, we had 5. We almost had 6. Um, I guess even to some degree, JD probably didn't have to go to all of them either. But like the same way how Megan didn't do them all. It's like why do I have to do them all? It's like there have been times like
Um
in the past where like Molly will do some on her own, not on her own, but with other people, or like or Megan just take her phone and we want to have video for this one. Just take some pictures. Ivan show up. Like just it'll be fine. It'll work. Um, but that was my big issue with the car. I just didn't want to go, and it's funny because like Megan has done a ton of interviews, and JD, I don't know what happened with some of the question writing, but y'all have some weird ideas on how to write questions. Am I the only? Am I just too basic,
yes,
or like
Manuel. The answer to everything is yes.
no? Because like this is Manuel complaining about people who do work for him for free. This is the new segment of the podcast. I'm gonna start complaining about it. Um, Fun fact,
well,
Josh, the interviews you did for San Diego Anime Con
yeah.
were really good for, especially considering how last minute they were in terms of the questions you came up with. But
Mhm.
like, it amazes me sometimes, like how hard it is. Like when we had remember when I told you guys to write the VTuber questions?
Yeah.
Wait, I wasn't there, but okay.
Okay, this is Manuel's rant minute. Hold on. So, Josh, if I came
Yeah.
up to you, okay, everyone, start getting the hate comments ready about Manuel, gonna talk crap about people who do shit for free. So, Josh, if I came up to you and I'm like, Josh, we're gonna interview this VTuber group. Can you come up with questions? And I tell you the name of the group. What would you do?
I would probably quickly look up the group and then see if I can make some questions that are relevant to what they do. Like if they just do like let's plays, do they sing, do they dick around with each other, or is there like a lore that they follow?
See, right there. Um, it was like pulling teeth, and I'll be real with you. Like after like when I first asked them both, and like nobody had any questions. At that point, it was like I could do these on my own. I could have done all of them on my own, but I'm like, why is
What
this so hard?
what material were you given? Like were you just following what they said to do the interview questions or what?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, it's funny because like, and he was funny because I was even joking with Kay about it. Like, I don't know if I should have said this, but anyways, was managing the VTubers, and I was joking with her about it, how I gave the other people to write the questions and they can't write shit. And she was all like, just ask about VTubing, ask about this, ask about the music, ask about. And I'm like, you think that would be obvious, but apparently, like,
sometimes I don't want to do the basic things. I like digging in deeper and figuring out other cooler things to
well, that
ask.
too. But like, if I knew there was a music guest, and I don't even know who the fuck the music guest is. If I just knew, Manuel, you're interviewing a music guest, a group or soloist. That's all I probably need to know, and then I could come up with literally 20 questions. And you might be like, yeah, they're boring and generic. But what you do is you ask the boring generic ones, and you're like, what's your inspiration for music? And they say something, and then you catch on to that, and you're like, hey, you like so and so, and then you move on from there. And I'm just amazed how hard it is to like. I feel like I should. Whenever I send someone to do an interview, I should talk to them about it and like see if they know how to do them. But
It could be a little intimidating because when I was talking with what was her name?
try going.
Madison.
Are
When I was
you
talking with
canceling me?
Madison. This I don't even know what was cancelable about anything that you like said. That was really weird. But like
No, I put up the boomer routine, which makes his screen black and white and puts the word boomer over him.
Anyway,
okay.
go ahead. When you're doing
Um
the Madison interview.
yeah, no, her mom was asking me a lot. Her mom was
Oh,
essentially
mom
giving
was
me
there.
like yeah, she was kind of giving me like a shit test, but not like a one that was like aggro. It was just coming from a place where it's just kind of like I don't want to like put my daughter in like some weird TMZ style interview. Like, what do you guys do? What's A to J connections? Where can we find this? Like the normal kind of things where it would just be sure that I wasn't gonna like set up some weird interview where I was looking for some weird ass gotcha, but like um, yeah, like there was that, but even prior to it, it was just kind of like, okay, well, I know that she does cosplay. I know that she's a voice actor, and I know that currently, like everybody's going to be asking about Five Nights, like she even had a
Yeah,
pop and everything. But even then, I still was like, I'm glad with how that one came out, and like same thing with like
that was a really good interview. Like
Paul Date.
for its length and like for like you basically doing a super last minute on the spot. The Madison, I can't say her last name. I'm not gonna try. But
No, it's
the
really long.
Madison, yeah, Brunholer or something like that. But
Yeah.
Madison, that was a good interview for what it was. Like okay, I will I will stand behind all the interviews. All the interviews were good, in their own ways, but
Mhm,
there were some, especially the VTuber one. Like the VTuber one turned out great, but you would not
mhm.
think that from how much stress that one was. They got to
Oh
a
damn.
point. It got to a point where like we had been talking about this for days, like a day or two earlier with JD, and actually no,
Mhm.
actually I'm lying. I've been telling Megan for like over a week, and nobody had any questions. And I'm like, oh my god. And it got to the point when I was just like, literally, like, head in my hands. I was just like, and
Manuel,
I'm
I
like,
had written some questions. It was just they were also unclear about which ones we would be interviewing, so I didn't know if I should be writing for a group, or like the entire group, or a specific subset, or a specific person.
so this is
That
turning into our fight. But yeah, like, it got to the point where, like, head in my hands. JD remembers this, when I was just like, write these down. And I just started listing off like 20 questions.
yeah.
I did. I did the thing I said I could have done from the get go, and I'm like, someone just write these down. I just started saying like, how did you guys form? How did you get into VTubing? Like, tell us about what's different between VTubing and streaming in real life. Tell us about the concert. And also the thing, we're interviewing after the concert. Just ask about the concert. Ask about the panel. Ask about the music. Ask about their favorite song. Ask about like the songwriting process. I'm like, I can, mind you, I agree that if you want to have a more personal interview that takes a bit longer, but I could just do these so fast, and it blows my mind sometimes. And I like when I ask someone to do questions, and I'll look at them, and I'm like, they're clearly
Was
having
it
trouble. And I
Did
know
was
the obvious thing is like, Manuel, help them then, but they're clearly having trouble. And I'm like, is this that hard?
I think if someone's not like I don't know, it depends. Actually, you know what? Shoot me. What were some of the questions that were like brought up? Like you said there were situations where it's kind of like we had nothing, but like what were some of the questions that you felt were just a little bit like what is this? Like what are we digging into?
Uh, Sorry, I'll get to JD's thing, but like honestly, I think the issue was, and I don't actually. Okay, I'll say it like this:
Okay.
JD and the person who did the interview, they know a lot about VTubers, like to a they know more than the average person.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you would swear to all hell that they had never heard of VTubers in their life.
Wait,
Maybe Katie's gonna
what?
fight me on that, but like
I guess he will. He's gonna cancel you
because
on that. I'm confused then if
because
they really know.
no, because like the same thing popped in my head. It's funny because like when I told it to the same thing that I was thinking the whole time. Ask about the VTubing. Just ask about like pretend you don't know because apparently you guys don't, you know, and you guys do. So I'm just um I don't know. I'm ranting on people too much. You want to hear a funny story about like because it reminded me when Josh like was talking about like Madison's mom giving him the grill, you know, about like what the fuck you doing or whatever. Fun fact: when that interview happened, when you were interviewing Madison, we had some problems with the SEO part of our site, and
Mhm.
Google was not showing the site. So they would have
Oh,
Googled us and they would have not seen the site unless they hit like unless they looked for an article specifically. So it's actually funny that like I don't know if they tried, but it's funny that would have been the issue. Um,
I tried directing them to like the YouTube and
yeah,
the
the YouTube
Facebook
channel,
more than anything.
the YouTube and the Facebook, funny enough, and the Twitter, for whatever reason, those will always show up first, just because they have the most interaction and like, especially the YouTube, for reasons like some of the shit we've done. Um,
Mhm.
but usually like the third or fourth thing should be the site, and it is again. But for the longest time, it wasn't. But anyway, there was one AX where we had an interview. I don't remember his name. He was a Japanese fashion designer, and he was there with one of his models. And it was a male
Ooh.
fashion brand, male model, and the model was the basis for this band called Matenro Opera, like a visual K group, J rock band. And um, we got the interview kind of last minute, like because I knew the person who brought them over. She's like, "Can you interview them?" Because they had no interview scheduled, and I'm like, "Sure." And because the interview was gonna be in Japanese, I asked Tiffany, who still to this day is kind of our go-to translator because she speaks Japanese and she goes to most conventions.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Can you do the interview?" She's like, "Sure." But like this is during the day at AX. We're all at the con. She's like, "Sure," but I'm in cosplay, and she was cosplaying Vanilla from Nekopara,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "I guess that'll have to do." Because like, let's just go do it. So we get up to the press room and we go to the interview, and we start introducing ourselves, and it's like, "Don't worry," like, because I first of all, the fucking designer loved the cosplay, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool! It's a cute cosplay, whatever." The
Mhm.
Matenor Opera bassist slash model was, you could tell he was like not in the mood. He was like,
Oh man.
and it's like I'm like, "Don't worry, we're not gonna film it. We'll take some pictures of you guys later on, but this is gonna just be audio."
Okay.
It's like, and we explained the thing. We're at a convention. She cosplayed. We didn't know we were doing this interview until like an hour ago. So we start doing the interview and we're asking questions like normal. We're in this interview for like 5 minutes. And I, I should show it somewhere because even though I said we weren't taking video, we weren't going to use the video, we took video because we always
Mhm.
do that just for purposes. JD always do that, by the way, because we lost interviews. But,
Mhm.
uh, so I should look up that video one day and just publish it. Like, who cares? The dude just like the whole time during the first 2 or 3 questions, he was on his phone, and I just thought he would just piss at us and didn't want to actually give us attention. Like he didn't want to like he just like, I don't care about these people. They're not filming me anyway. I'm gonna just like go on fucking Twitter or whatever. But then
Yeah.
I didn't know. He starts like he starts like just going off like in Japanese, mind you. He's like, "Who are these people? Who are they exactly?" Like I just googled, yeah, he googled them, and it's like at the time, and we still do, but like we were covering like hentai games, shit like that, because back in the day the only people who would give us games to review would be like Sakai Project or like
Mhm.
Manga Gamer. So like almost all of our reviews were for hentai games, and I guess that came up first. And
Uh. Oh
he was
boy.
all and he was like, "Who are these people?" Like all this company, like they reviewed this game, and like Um, Tipu had written it's still these reviews still exist. Tipu had written custom code for the site where like the pictures would be hidden and it says click here if you're 18. So we had like, just straight up like, nudity on the site and shit like that. Still do technically somewhere if you dig up those old reviews. And
Mhm.
he was pissed. He did not want to do the interview anymore, and he was just going off and off and off. And then somehow we all calmed him down. We just like finished it really fast. We just like shotgun through it. He gave one word answers. And then afterwards, nice little coda to all this. He just left. He left. The model guy just left. The designer took a picture with Tiffany and like posted it on his own social media. And I'm like, yeah, I hate
Oh
Pretender
boy,
Opera. I hate their bassist.
that
This
that
is
was rough.
Manuel. This is Manuel burning another bridge. I think his name was Yo or You or something like that. I forget his name. Um, but yeah,
That's really rough. I'm so sorry.
it happens. It happens. Uh, most of the time, people don't even care. Like they'll do the interviews. Like when we well, if Japanese people, they'll always want to see it before it gets published. That makes sense. But you know how many
Mhm.
times we've done interviews and I'm like, oh, do you want to send it to you before we do it? And and before we publish it, they're like, no, it's fine. Like, do what you want. We're never talking to you again, kind of thing. You know, in a nice way, but like they're just like, you're just another click on the site. It's fine.
Manuel's name is
Their
Yeah.
Yo.
name. Yo, see, I was yeah. But is Pretender Opera even still around? I feel like they broke up by now. But he doesn't like. I'm sure he doesn't remember me.
They did a tour
But
last year.
they did. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, I'm kidding. I don't mind. It's more funny than anything that like he got so upset. I remember it's because of that actually. I remember like I used to be so crazy and anal about people cosplaying during interviews after that. And when we did a bunch of interviews at J-Pop Summit, some of the girls were doing what the fuck is that called? Wake Up Girls. They're doing a Wake Up Girls group cosplay. And if
Mhm.
you go to the site now, actually, if you go to like all of our most popular interviews, like if you go to the one for Tokyo Gay Gay Gay, or the one for I can't remember her name, but we interviewed an ex AKB48 member and some other shit like that. Tiffany is wearing like this weird wig and like this button up shirt because I'm like, you needed like make this not look like a cosplay. So I made her take off everything that was like, identifying. So she was just wearing a weird shirt and skirt and like clearly a wig, but like
Mhm.
it just looked like maybe she chose to wear a wig today. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, how did this turn into like how to do proper interviews and how to fuck them up?
Because
Oh
you
no, I
said
just
I
asked for
should have
like
just
some.
used basic questions.
Okay, here's Manuel's like, and it's funny because JD was all like, "Oh, who doing this for a while." I've done less interviews at A to J's, and I think JD. Oh, actually, have you done any interviews on your own, like doing the talking?
No, I've always had someone else. The closest I got was our first one this year, and that
Okay,
one we were basically doing together.
so honestly, with the exception of like, I mean, okay, people like Tiffany have interviewed far more people than I ever have. But like even people like Daikon have interviewed more people than I have because I've only done personally maybe 7 to 10 interviews out of all like the hundreds A to G has done. Definitely at least 200. Like just guessing. Um, I've done about 10 of those.
Mm.
But so technically, I don't think I'm that well versed. Like, and I haven't even been in all of them. I don't know. My big thing is it's really simple to come up with easy questions. Just like come up with okay, just come up with the basics and follow up. I think a lot of people don't like to follow up for whatever reason, but just follow up. If you're Most people use their phones for questions, which I don't like. uh, that's why I usually bring my Kindle with the questions on there. And not because I think the phone looks unprofessional. It's because 9 times out of 10, something will go off on that phone. Uh,
Oh.
Oh yeah, that
which
happened this
happened.
year.
Yeah. They'll get a message. Either it'll have sound, which happened this year, but even if it doesn't have sound, I'll see them swiping away madly when like a fucking chat thing comes up or something or a notification drops. And I'm like, yeah, the Kindle, like I could lock that so it doesn't lock. I mean, I could lock that. I could turn it so it doesn't lock for like an hour, so it won't shut off. And it's like there'll be no notifications. It'll just be the questions. Um, so yeah, just do that. Just follow up. And if you're holding something like a Kindle, just keep an eye on the time. That's the other important thing. Keep an eye on the time. Make sure it doesn't go over. And there you go. Interview 101. Come up with like 10 to 15 basic bitch questions, and then just go from there. Like, honestly, yeah, if it's a voice actor, what's your favorite role? They say the role?
No, no,
Oh,
don't you don't do that. You're not supposed to ask them favorite role.
well, some people, yeah. Well, sometimes, and there's sometimes you interview someone where they'll just like you have to account for these things. You'll have some people who just like I don't know if they just aren't talkers, but sometimes you interview someone and you're doing more talking than they are because like they just don't, their answers are short.
Mhm.
And there'll be some people you ask them like 3 questions and they'll fill up a half hour.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think it's good to be prepared for like those amount of questions.
Deep
Normally,
dive
I would
interview
say that.
questions. Otherwise, I just sorry, I made the things. Keep going.
uh, Yeah, no, I saw that deep dive. I don't know. I think it's also because everybody's different. Like excuse- each profession can like have some things that make it seem like, oh, it'd be cool to ask like this one question, or preferably ask this, excuse me, other question. The way that I see it is just like if you're familiar with the person a little bit, ask the basic questions so they can say a little bit about what they do. And then from there, you're able to then see, like, okay, like, because sometimes it could be that maybe they've only worked on a few things if it's voice acting, but then you could see if they have like a different background, see how
Mhm.
they enjoy the current thing, or are they doing multiple things with relation to like if it's voice acting and then say like they done cosplay or say they make music or
Yeah.
something, if you're able to like dive into that. I think the other part is that there are a lot of people who will interview them, and it's like, how do we make our interviews stand out more than someone else's interview? But I think you need to like build rapport during the interview, and then maybe from there you could take in a direction that might be more unique than somebody else, as well as just leaning in on like, oh, what are some newer projects maybe? Because like that's always going to be something where it's just going to be like, oh, it's cool to check out what's the most current thing that they've been doing since I mean that's going to be a better representation about who they are in that particular moment too. But I think it's just like what make me hot
Sorry,
sauce
yes, I'm laughing
for
at you.
asking a question. um Yeah, no, I don't know. At least that's how I think about it. I've hosted a panel before when there was like a local group was gonna do like this whole big like um Overwatch thing, and
Yeah.
like only one person showed up, and that was my friend. So there was literally this like block of time that was dedicated to just some cosplayers like doing some shenanigans Overwatch related, and no one showed up. And these were people that also like ran other stuff at the event, and so I was just kind of there, and then my friend's there. And then they really had no one checking anything out. If anything, that room could have been hella empty. It was fun coming up with like random ass shit. But like, yeah, no, I don't know. Interviews are hard sometimes. It could seem like it'd be really easy, but then sometimes it's just kind of like, do I make myself stand out? I don't want it to seem too basic, and
I
I hope that people aren't like testing me while I'm gonna do this.
I like how Josh makes me look like an asshole. I literally began most of my rants like praising his most recent and so far only interviews for A to J. And then he basically says what I says, but in a much nicer way. Like,
Yes, Manuel. And that's why we like Josh more.
I would have been down to do interviews, but really I was like really busy during ALA. So at that point I was just kind of like, you know what, the schedule's full, it's gonna go fast. It's cool. I
Well,
will just
I meant to shuffle them around too. Like, fun fact,
yeah.
if in case you're curious, like anyone watching and whatever, we interviewed Caitlin Glass, we interviewed Lamar the
Mhm.
Con guy, we interviewed
Nice.
who the hell, Kari
Kari
Walker, the one I
Walgren.
didn't want to go to.
Hmm.
Once again, it's not that I don't like Kari Walker. It's just that I just figured Manuel could take this one off. He
You
could
just
sit.
didn't you just didn't want to be there. It could have
Yeah,
been anyone, and you were just like, I'm not
exactly.
down.
That could have been the Kaho one because we interviewed Kaho Shibuya also. But I would have been there for the Kaho one. But like those three, who's the last? Oh, and the VTubers. We
Too much.
interviewed I can't remember the
The-
name, Serena, and I can't remember her other name from V4 Mirai. But I really should know their names. But
Yes, Manuel, you really should.
I'm a good person. But but yeah, we interviewed those 5 people, and I meant to change up who was doing the interviewing more, but it just so happened that like Megan, who did most of them, was just always around. So it's just like it's just the devil I know, Uh,
I
by
like
the
that you
way,
just basically called her the devil.
yeah, I did. She doesn't like Sun Wukong. That's like one of our defining characteristics when we talk to each other. I'm a huge fan of I'm a China boost. I'm a huge fan of like Journey to the West, the Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, and she hates him. And I forgot about that. I actually really did. And when we did the first interview with Caitlin Glass and on day two of the con,
Mhm.
uh, I was wearing a Sun Wukong shirt just by chance. Just by chance. Like I didn't plan that at all. And she shows up, she's like, "You wore that, it pissed me off, didn't you?" And I was like, "Oh shit." No, but I'm happy it did. I'm a terrible person, aren't I? Manuel comes to the realization he's a terrible person. Oh,
It's
Alien was
unintentional. I
fun.
don't think it counts.
Alien was a fun con otherwise. Like interviews aside, like we did I did two panels. One on 80s idols and then one on giant robots, women and giant robots. Um yeah, why did I rant about that panel recently? I feel like I've already ranted about that panel. But that panel
Oh,
was
because the women in giant robots. Because
yes,
I keep telling you
that panel was
how many
fine.
issues it had.
I mean, it had issues, but it was fine. Um, the way I always judge panels, and I know this is a weird way to judge them, but it's not the best metric. But the way I always judge panels is how many people leave during them. And part of the issue is Manuel likes to do 90-minute panels, which is a non-standard time. So there'll always be people who leave at that 60-minute mark, no matter what panel I'm doing. But the robot one was only an hour, and I think it was during an hour slot, like 8 to 9, like not a weird 15-minute time slot, or maybe it was, I don't know, but it was only an hour, so maybe that's why. But very few people left during the panel. Like most of them stayed the whole thing, and that's always my metric. If people leave, that means they hate you. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
you can't
not
be
why.
too hard though. Sometimes some people have like different retention about different things. It depends.
Hype for
But it does
oh,
suck
Black
because
Myth,
you don't
yes.
want it to be empty.
Black Myth is a great game. I can't wait to play it either. I know I forgot why, but I know the developers got some shit a couple of years back. But I can't wait for it either. I requested it for review. But yeah, anyways, the panel was fine. You should have went to them and maybe you could have judged. What's funny, and I will admit, and J, I'm only defending it against JD because I think JD like is a bit too harsh on it. It was
I just
I
want you to
think
aspire to be better, Manuel.
you think you think I'm ever like happy with any panel? You think I'm happy with that 80s panel I did? That one I think went swimmingly, but like I don't like it. Like every panel, I've said this before. Every panel, and it's funny because some of them I finished really early because of timing. But every panel I've done, they're never finished in my mind. I just one day I'm like, I can't write anymore. Like either I'm gonna redo the whole thing, or like, or or that's it. I just stop. So that's Manuel's panel writing process. I literally stop. So I'm never satisfied with anything I do. But I will say that I will admit that that robot panel was probably out of the 150 some odd panels I've done. Yes, I've done that many. Um, that panel would be in the bottom 50. Like I don't know where.
Mhm.
It was not the worst. Josh talks about when people don't show up. My big fear, and it's happened to me a lot of times when people don't show up to panels, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
You
It's
just
like,
kind of based on what someone else said. Victor Frost, because he likes to also hold some panels at ALA.
oh god, I'm gonna
He
rant.
literally held a panel just about holding panels. So one of his things was just like, because he likes to use PowerPoints. So like, and it's like it was in the middle of one of them because he was like testing one out like live, and then he was doing the exact same thing at the convention. One of them simply said, um, let's say nobody's there, they don't show up, and it can happen. You can have a panel where like maybe people were just not interested, or sometimes they might not be as like aware with like the person holding it, or maybe you got slotted with like something else happening at another time. Just continue as is. Just start it as if it was going on. Have it as an idea for like a buffer, because it would suck more that you're not doing anything at the slotted time that you have versus not going because he kind of felt like nobody was here in the first place. So he just kind of felt like treat it as, you're just doing the PowerPoint like in front of a high school audience, when you're doing like way back in the day, because nobody can like talk while you're doing your thing and stuff like that, like treat it like one of those where it's like I'm just doing the thing, and then maybe people walk in later, and then you can just like go off whatever their energy is if they have questions about stuff. Like, stuff can happen.
Okay,
Like it's
Josh, it's just
funny.
really funny. I think Manuel was about to say it too. You missed Manuel's rant on Victor Frost on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Um.
Whoa. Well, I wasn't gonna be there Wednesday. I went Thursday, so I was gonna miss it
So
either way. What
so
happened with Victor Frost? I want to
I'll
know.
give I'll give you the fast version because I had a rant. I've ranted about this so many times, but
This
like
happened on Wednesday. This happened
On
on
no
our
no no.
Wednesday
Wednesday.
night
Well,
stream,
it had on a
J
different stream.
Adventures.
Oh.
So I brought this up on a different stream. TLDR, I submitted a certain number of panels to the ALA. This is the
Mhm.
first year in the past 10 years. I've been paneling there since 2015, sorry. So I guess 9 years. And obviously 3 of those were pandemic years. But it doesn't matter. 10 years. I'll just say that number anyway. I don't fucking care. Almost 10 years I've been paneling there. Um, we've been lucky enough. We've even been guests for a panel similar to Victor Frost. Fun fact, but like we've always hosted at least like 4 panels, which ALA doesn't. I think ALA's actual official limit is 6. And that's important for a minute. ALA's official limit is 6, and we've actually have hosted 6 in the past. 2020, we did 6 panels. But we're usually happy with 4. Did Josh just freeze for everyone else? Or is that just for me? Oh, he unfroze. Okay. And this year they only took 2 panels, and they didn't take they and we actually submitted a ton of them, but they only took 2. And part of the reason, and I won't name names, but some staffer friends of mine have told me, and one of them, and it's not the usual one I talk about, someone JD doesn't even know, one of them who's like on like the programming department even mentioned it too, that because they have so many featured guests, like cosplayers, voice actors, they all need a panel, which is fair. But I think ALA has kind of gone crazy with some of those guests, like they have way too many sometimes. But they have people like Victor Frost and my homie Lamar, and I love Lamar, so I'll just stop mentioning him after that. I just want to point him out because he exists too. But who they give, like, and also Lamar's panels are a little different because he hosts like karaoke shit and other shit that's going to happen anyway. But they give Victor Frost like a dozen things.
Really?
And it's like, what the fuck? And that fuck. Okay, I don't want to call him that fucker. I meant that fucker in a non-offensive way, just the way I call anyone that fucker when I'm talking about them. But that dude do you remember this? He did a panel last year about like lolly stuff in anime.
Oh,
And
wow. No, I missed that. I didn't see any. I used to catch his panels in Ontario, but I haven't seen any of his panels over at Long Beach yet.
it kind of created a whole like buzz before the con even happened. 'Cause people were like, why are we letting this guy? And it was Victor Frost. And I'm like, he's a
Mhm.
guest of honor. He's hosting a panel that everyone's upset by before the con even happens.
But what was
And
the premise? That like lollies are just like art, or
no,
what?
it was not pro law at all. I probably should have clarified that even when I brought it up on Wednesday. I should clarify that. The whole
All right.
thing was, and this, to be fair, we've kind of like A to J has kind of covered this too when we talk about the Magical Girls one. There's a really weird history of the '80s anime scene,
Mhm.
like when basically shit got weird. Let's just leave it at that. Where
Weird. Are
like
you talking about when Truck Kun made his debut by killing a magical girl? Is that what you mean, or
yes,
what?
actually, fun fact that show is very that not that segment in that show, but like that character and a lot of stuff that circled around that artist too, and other artists like him.
Oh no, it,
Uh,
it got like even the back IRL background to the show and mixed with that was pretty
so
like,
he
oh
he he
my
did a
god.
yeah, he did a panel examining some of those, like basically how it's been tied into anime for a very long time. And mind you, that's a good topic. It's a topic I would never cover for the same reasons. Like, why would you talk about that? Maybe make a weird YouTube video like age restricted, but don't bring that to a con. And everyone got upset, and I agree. Also, because he used the term Lolita, which to be fair is kind of mixed in, but like to most. Not to most, but to a certain segment of like the con going crew, Lolita
Mhm.
refers to the fashion.
Yeah.
So it's like you can tell that dude has never met Leslie or anyone like that. It's like you would not use that term to talk about what you're saying. But so anyways, yeah, like TLDR, to get back to the present, Victor Frost had like 14 things. Some of them were, admittedly, once again, some of them were like moderating voice actor panels. But even then, he's on them. As from what I understand, he does something with that. He's a director or an actor or something.
He's a voice engineer.
Honestly, I don't
Mhm.
understand it. Like my
It
other,
just
like
means he likes to. It's like JD, but like a step ahead, and
some
he gets paid for it while at the con.
JD. It's funny because like some of my homies, and I won't name all their names, but like for example, one of my friends is a panel called the Hentai Review. That
Mhm.
one's always full. It happens at every convention. He
Because
was
people are
denied.
degenerates.
Yeah, he
But
was
he's denied.
denied.
Wait, hold up. He's denied when he has full like he bring according to there's
Yes,
people that go to see his thing, but he gets denied. Like,
he's like that blew my mind. I'm like they denied you, and he. I only mentioned him because he like a lot of people I know have been to that panel. I've been to that panel. Um,
mhm,
so it's like people who had big panels, and once again, I guess I should be happy that they took any of my panels. I guess. But like
mhm,
the fact that they were denying all these big name people, and I had this friend staffer who was all like, "Oh yeah, we have to grandfather it. We have to give these people like they're like like there's other people too, like other panelists, and Victor Frost is the worst one in my opinion in terms of numbers. But they basically
mhm,
have to grandfather in these people who are like, yeah, let's give them their 12 panels again. And it's like, why? Because eventually, and mind you, it won't really become this because they'll always have new guests who will get their panels for sure. But
mhm.
eventually, just make it the fucking Victor Frost con. Just make it Victor Frost LA and give
Um,
him a whole day programming. Give him his own room. But yeah, that's my Victor Frost rant. Is
no,
that like
it's more
he's part of
likely going to become the Kaho con before it becomes the Victor Frost con.
Okay,
we
Manuel.
interviewed Ka. Yeah.
I like how you said you would keep that short.
Oh, I was done. I was talking about Kaho.
Yeah, no, I know, but it felt a lot longer than I'm keeping it short would imply.
Oh, I mean, I went a lot longer on Wednesday. What's the chat saying? Because I see a bunch of shit popping up. That's wild. Oh yeah, Lamar. I love Lamar. That's why I didn't mention him again. I fucking love Lamar. He does nothing. And I know JD made fun of me last time on Wednesday. He's like, oh, look at Manuel. Like someone is doing the same thing. It's like he's great because I like him, but the other guy is like fuck him. First of all, not fuck Victor Frost. That's fine. Honestly, it's the con. It's more of a con decision. And once again, not to say Lamar doesn't also had like 15 events or whatever the fuck. I think his number was 14. Most of them were stuff that's gonna happen anyway. I think he like MC'd the cosplay thing or something. He definitely did like 2 or 3 karaoke things, and those weren't even in real rooms. They were like the karaoke room.
Mhm.
So yeah, half of those are definitely events, but they were gonna happen regardless of Lamar, and he just adds to them.
But
So
but couldn't you say the same thing for Victor round or like chairing panels or
it
moderating?
clearly JD, just let me favor Lamar and
Just
just
let you
let me
have your
move
double
on.
standards. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Let me have my double standard because Lamar's a great guy and I love him, so he can do what the fuck he wants. Give him 20 panels next year. I don't care. If it was him taking them, I'd be like, it's fine. Or I'll like pull a double switch. I'd be like, hey Lamar, let me get one of those panels and we won't tell anyone. You just show up in the titles. It's like no karaoke 101. Anyway, but yeah, we did 2 panels there. The robot one was fine. The idol one went really well. It's funny because I wanted to mention this at the start of the thing. I have this idea, and I'm gonna put it on my own YouTube channel just out of test. I'm gonna re-record it because I didn't like the first take I did. I actually recorded me rehearsing the panel again just because I wanted to time it. I'm like, how did I run out of time at this on this one at ALA? I thought I timed it good, and it was like 2 hours. And I'm gonna do that again and put it on YouTube. And hopefully I don't. I'll put it on my YouTube not because I don't want it on the A to J one, but just in case it gets flagged too many times. I don't want that chat. I don't want the A to J channel to get deleted. So it'll be low rent video essay. But
Mhm.
yeah, and it was good. I also heard that our JAV panel was specifically rejected because
Oh,
people were upset with what we showed last year.
whoa! Like what happened?
um trigger warning for anyone who doesn't want to hear about some crazy stuff. We're not going to show anything, obviously. I'm just going to say it.
Oh
So
yeah, because we clearly
and
clearly this was a totally telegraphed segment where we're gonna bring up clips.
this
But
is
okay, continue.
this is 18 plus panel, and I'm not going to
Okay.
go too much in depth, but towards the end, like it starts very vanilla, where you think we're going to just. First of all, I'm never going to do a porn panel where we just show porn. That's boring. So like we'll mix
I
in some
mean, you
history.
gotta have fun with it. Like even the hentai
Yeah,
things back at Fanime, like that literally is set up for you to laugh your ass off. Like
exactly. So we show some memes. We actually like researched some memes and found like the sauce, so to speak, and stuff like that. But towards the end of the panel, the second half, not even the second half, like the last quarter of the panel, we just show some crazy shit just to like. By the way, hope you're having dinner because we're gonna show you some crazy shit. And it starts normal. We'll show some pegging. We'll show some like some like squirting, some like fetishy stuff that's a little out there, but it's normal, like accepted. And then at the very end, we'll start showing like vomit and like actual pee stuff, and we'll just leave it at that. And yes, and the last ALA we showed this video where a girl. Have you seen this video, JD? Or you only heard me talk
No,
about it?
Manuel, I don't even want to know. Just tell it, and while I mute myself.
I'll just tell it because I do want to emphasize that it's as bad as you're thinking. It's not like this is gonna be a story where you'd be like, it's not as bad as you're thinking. No, this is as bad as you're thinking. These dudes pee in a big like bowl, like all piss, and this is important. You gotta show that. You gotta know it's real piss, and then they get a giant syringe, pull the piss out, put it in their mouth, like syringe it in, so that she has to drink it all, and then she like vomits everywhere, and then she goes down on the guys and is still vomiting everywhere. She drank all this piss, and that was one of the last videos we showed. We also showed this mukbang one where this chick is like just doing mukbang shit, but she vomits in a bathtub. She's naked. She vomits in a bathtub and kind of just like rolls around in it. And those were the last clips we showed. Mind you, the piss one was a lot worse, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe the vomit one. They both had vomit, but everyone seemed into. I don't say into it. Everyone seemed like not horribly disgusted at the panel, but I heard specifically that like when they saw us submit it again, they're like, "Nah, we're not accepting that this year."
I think I can understand why they didn't accept that, Manuel. I didn't hear what you said. I just saw the transcription software picking up what you said, and I just assumed I could clean the rest from the gaps in there.
Yeah, it was pleasant.
wow,
It's
like bruh, like. I guess it also really like depends. I think that ALA will just want to skirt with adult based stuff, but when it comes to like something where it visually gets like that, like and especially if you're doing shock value versus just genuine like the humor, but I think the other part of it is just simply like they want to attract people to come to it, so they don't want it to be something that would alienate like normies and be kind of like, what the fuck did I just
to
see?
be fair,
You get me?
to be fair, we also we the description even said there'll be stuff you can't unsee. And when we start the panel, we tell everyone, and maybe they think we're joking. We tell everyone because I don't want to say what it is. We don't want to give it away. But we tell everyone like if you're you don't want to see certain things, then you might want to just leave now because we're gonna show. We tell everyone it gets crazy, and I guess they don't believe us. There
It's because
happens.
like people do enjoy when it gets crazy, but it's like if it's not something necessarily where it's just sexy, like if it's not like nude drawing, if it's not learning how to like rope tie, if it's not a magic
We know
show,
that
I
too.
I think that's the only reason why.
Also, it's funny because like you kind of got to go to the panel because when I'm saying it, I probably sound a little like weird. Like, what the fuck's this guy into? For the record, I'm not into that stuff. I usually gag
Oh
when
no,
I
I've
watch
I've
that
seen
shit.
I've
But
seen you
one of our
say the lines. Look them, right there on the stage. They're fucking. They're fucking on stage. They're fucking right there.
one of our co-hosts, she actually fan of this stuff. So she'll introduce it, and that makes it more wild that you have this unassuming girl who you're like, what the fuck? I remember when we did the panel at ALA, one of her friends, one of the girlfriend, I won't name her just in case she doesn't want to be named, even though she was there publicly. But one of her friends came to the panel, and when the panel was done, she walks up to her, she's like, I had no idea, as in like had no idea that she watched this stuff on her free time. because this other
Yeah.
girl finds us these videos. She's like, "Oh, put this one in," But we did it at some content. We did it at PMX. That was the first time we did it actually, and everyone loved it. Even that crazy shit. Like it was such a tiny room, and everybody was like vibing. There was even, I won't name her either because I don't want to like out these people. There was somebody involved with the really big maid cafe who was present. And I only know this because I saw her later on at the maid cafe, and we kind of like are chill now. And she was really into it. And later on, when I saw her at the maid cafe, she saw me. She's like, "It's you," and I'm like, "You're the one who was into it in the back." She's like, "Shh, we're at the May Cafe now. I can't talk about that panel." But
It was Dreamland, wasn't it? Dreamland was at
it,
BMX.
it was Josh over here like deciphering my thing. I'm trying not to say it, but yes, it was
Well,
somebody.
there were only two. There were only two there because
Yeah,
the
it was
the
Dream. It was somebody from
the
Dreamland.
terrible one, the terrible one was not allowed to be there, and the other
Yeah,
people there were Asayuru, but they didn't have like a
yeah.
cafe
They didn't
there.
have an
So
actual cafe, but the yeah. So TLDR, like, it's been received well at Fanime. Fun fact that when we did it at Fanime, a bunch of people walked out when we showed the first sex scene, as in like vanilla shit. Like it was just like vanilla. It was just like porn, and people walked out. I'm like, what the hell did you think you were coming to? But anyway, you know, I'm a little. I mean, I'm pretty sure that had nothing to do with Victor Frost. That was clearly like they didn't want to show it again. But I'm like, we've been censored.
yeah,
Everyone,
I don't know.
everyone go to.
It depends.
There it goes. Everyone, not safe for mates. Everyone go to Hentai Matsuri in June, and we'll be doing that. I got to submit everything officially. I haven't decided how I'm going to word things, who's going to be there. So I want to make sure I have the application proper. But everyone go to
Mhm.
Hentai Matsuri. We'll be doing some version of it, and we'll be showing all this crazy shit. It'll be great. It'll be awesome.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, uh, I wish. What the fuck? How did we already spend over an hour? I thought we were barely starting the show. What the hell was the show, JD? We didn't
You
even talk much
complaining about how I
LA.
don't know how to run an interview, which is fair. Josh's long tangent
Hey.
on that Caitlin Glass thing.
Oh, that was our
Your
tangent.
rant about Victor Frost.
Okay, Victor Frost, we're cool. Just do a panel together, or better yet, to just convince ALA to let them. Okay, look, if ALA gave me all the panels I want, I would stop complaining because I'm that kind of person.
Yeah, so
But
final thoughts on ALA 2024?
I had a lot of fun. It was one of my it was my favorite ALA since the Wait, how do I say this? I've been iffy on ALA since the pandemic. I've had more fun at other cons, but this was the first ALA where I felt it was comparable to the pre-pandemic ALAs. That's the way I was trying to phrase that.
Mm.
It was fun. It was more fun than the last two, but those weren't bad either. What are your final thoughts on ALA, Josh?
I had a lot of fun. It was really great. Um, favorite moment had got to be after the dance when I had a few too many, and I was with my girlfriend who was like but she like drew makeup on her cheeks to make her look like drunk and stuff like that. And I was like, let me take us back to the room. So she was essentially just on my back, and we're going down the hallway to the room. And by the time we get to the room, I fall over and we just collapse on the ground and we're laughing. And some guy who says our cosplays look great comes back down the hall when we get inside, and he gives us a shoju bottle.
Oh, what the fuck! I want somebody to give me a soju bottle. I want more alcohol. I remember like there was one ALA. This is last story, JD. Don't worry, it's not a long one. There was one Well, I don't think they do it anymore. ALA used to have industry parties where they would have drink tickets and you get free drinks like that. I remember one of the ALAs when it was at the Ratchetson still. Um, they had contests and I won more alcohol. And like my homie Andy was like running the thing, and he's all like, "This is what Manuel needs: more alcohol." like, I forgot what I won. I won 2 bottles. I remember it was like, yeah, I was so excited. It was fun. JD, you gotta start drinking.
No, I'm good, Manuel. Thank you.
Nah, I'm gonna lace your drinks. I don't know. Is that illegal? Should I be saying
Dude,
that out loud?
no, don't do
Manuel, I would
that.
not
Don't do
admit to
that.
that on stream. Just
Okay,
gonna.
okay,
I'm
okay.
not a lawyer,
First
but
of
I'm
all,
just gonna give you some advice.
yeah. First of all, I'm joking. Second of all, I'm gonna do it to JD. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No one's gonna want to room with me. Like, like Manuel thinks you're giving you juice, but it's like half. I mean, come on, it's half whiskey.
Manuel,
Dangerous.
I've had enough Coke
Dangerous.
to know what it tastes. Coca-Cola, to be
Oh my god, I was
clear,
about to say like
to know what it
OMG.
tastes like. So I think unless you put like the tiniest amount, I think I would know if you tampered with it.
The laces drink in Minecraft. Oh no, we're not doing the in Minecraft thing. Yeah, I'm gonna laces drink in Minecraft, just like how
No,
I'm gonna
that's not a defense anymore. That's not a good defense anymore.
in Minecraft. Yeah, I'm gonna all the illegal things I'm gonna do in Minecraft. I'm gonna steal JD's identity when he's passed out drunk in Minecraft. Why would I even say that? Anyway, now no one's gonna want to party with Manuel. It's fun. Everyone show up. I think the next con I'm doing Weebwise. Actually, I'm not sure which one comes first, but I'm doing WonderCon, Level Up. Is that only till Fanime that are weeps? I think it might still say it's that one, and that one. I just said WonderCon, Level Up, and then I'm not a huge fan of the smaller ones that are just like exhibit hall type things, but yeah. And then after Fanime is Offkai, and then Hentai Matsuri, and AX, and then so on. But anyways, that's it. Peace out. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow we're playing more Final Fantasy VII with Warren, and then Friday is Drink Talk Roll coming back after a month. And that's that.
Josh, you have anything to promote before that?
I just want to say thank you for having me on. Always glad when I get to join in, and follow me over at Photaku Network, YouTube, Instagram, and I look forward to the next event that you guys go to. So far, the only thing I've got like confirmed on my end is just going to Anime Expo. But who knows? Maybe I might want to check out some of the cons, kind of like WonderCon. I'm interested about the hentai one also.
Oh yeah, you should definitely go to that one. But what's I gonna say? Oh, if next Tuesday will be UPZ again. I promise a more structured show. This one was just very last minute because I'm technically at a con right now this week. Try to figure out which one. But anyway, I mean I'm not at the con. I mean I have a con this whole week though. But anyways, so yeah, that's it. Peace out. Thank you for watching. See you guys tomorrow and Friday and next Tuesday. Peace.
Night, everybody.